So I'm Carrie Yoder. I'm from rural Indiana, and I graduated in 2024, and I studied human biology. Right now I'm working at Beth Israel Hospital as a research assistant, and I'm studying endometriosis and liver fibrosis. I did not always know that I wanted to go into science. I grew up finishing high school. I always got stressed out at school, and I thought, you know what? I'm never going to become a scientist or a doctor or anything, so I don't have to worry too much about this stuff. But in high school, I actually really fell in love with the course material. After graduation, I enrolled in a physics program close to my hometown, and I was studying physics and working, and I had heard about Sattler. I heard about its community, and that just did not line up that was not my experience in college at all. And I was really discouraged by the lack of curiosity, the lack of rigor in my program. And I decided, you know what, if this is what college is, I'm not sure I want to do this. So I worked in Greece for 3 months at a refugee camp to kind of reorient my interests and to navigate some different options for things I wanted to do after graduation. And I fell in love with some small medical work that I did when I was over there. And I remembered that Sattler had a pre-med program. So I switched from physics to pre-med at Sattler. And that's kind of how I ended up here. And I've super enjoyed it. It's a decision I'm really glad I made. Right after graduation, I was looking for research jobs in the Boston area and looking specifically for something with women's health, which is kind of an interest I've had since the beginning, is better healthcare access for women. And I'm now working with the Vagal lab at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center. It's really focused on improving the data that we have for different diseases, presentation in women specifically, and also trying to come up with better testing for diagnoses for endometriosis or other female-specific diseases. I was really drawn to Sattler because of its community and its academic rigor. Those were two things that I wasn't seeing in my community college experience. And I wanted to be encouraged to grow, pushed to grow by my peers and by my professors. And that's something I saw in Sattler very clearly, and that's their whole model. I also really appreciated the idea of having a lot of faculty around to go to for advice or anything like that. I would say Dr. Bennett has been one of the most impactful faculty at Sattler for me. She's so generous with her time and her resources. She's accomplished quite a bit for her career trajectory so far, and she's always been so willing to connect me to people that she knows, to connect me with different opportunities, or to encourage me to look into different areas of research. And it's her generosity that's been really inspiring, and I've taken a note of how impactful that's been for me. And that's something I want to emulate in my own career, that I can take whatever I'm blessed with and create opportunities for other people from that. Whether that's mentorship. Right now in my lab, we're training 2 Sattler students, which is really exciting. And so it feels like in a small way, this is how I can give back to my Sattler community and kind of reflect those values of generosity that Dr. Bennett taught me. He's a shining star, in my opinion. I would say professionally, the lesson that's stuck with me the most is that curiosity is irreplaceable, and you can be good at your job, but if you're not curious and asking questions, you're not going to be successful. And having a liberal arts course load, I was studying a very broad spectrum of disciplines, and so it took effort to learn how to stay curious and like asking thoughtful questions in all of these different disciplines. And that's paid off really well in my job now, where I'm constantly meeting experts in different fields, professionals in either industry or academia, and being able to engage with in different disciplines and asking questions that are thoughtful and insightful has been a super helpful skill, and one that I've tried to learn how to do better. I loved all my extracurriculars at Sattler. I was very engaged with the Sattler community. My freshman year, I did an internship at Notre Dame University working with colitis and some different autoimmune models. And that was super formative. I loved that research environment. Even just being introduced to a lab environment for the first time, it's like you're entering a totally different world. And I really loved the work of it. So that was incredibly formative. I founded and was president of Solidarity Club on campus for about 2 years. And we would just engage with different community initiatives to raise awareness for different events or causes or issues that were happening. We had lecturers come in from different ministries. We had someone come in from like a prison outreach ministry. We had some like racial reconciliation efforts within like church groups come and speak. So that was a really informative time. It was also a great opportunity that I had to exercise leadership and just practicing some administration skills that has really paid off as well. And I look onto those times fondly. I was vice president of student life for a year and was part of a debate club for 2 years. That was also really good. I am not a very confrontational person, so that was a struggle. But I learned how to articulate myself and to even analyze like, what are good ideas? What are bad arguments? How do I convince someone of a position that I might not even hold myself? So that was really helpful as well. It's been Sattler's liberal arts curriculum that has paid like the greatest dividends in my spiritual life. So even just engaging with history in a really honest way has helped me be more curious about the church's history and like the history of Christianity and how Christian ideas have taken root and played out in different areas of the world and what the fruit of that has been. And that's been a really helpful thing for me to meditate on, even now after graduation, to think about, okay, how is my understanding of the church and Christianity taking root in my life, and what fruit is it producing? So taking that time to reflect in those history classes was really formative for me. And also encouraged like an open-mindedness about different ideas and engaging with students about their individual experiences as well, and just growing closer as a community. Some of the most spiritually formative friendships that I've had have been from Satler, and the fruit of those conversations continues to come out in my life now. Sattler's focus on integrating faith and learning while I was at Sattler, has encouraged me to continue that trajectory after graduation. Because of how rigorous the academics are at Sattler, learning becomes like a way of life. You don't really take a break from it. You're always kind of just like thinking about things you're learning in class. You're talking to your peers about it. And that momentum has continued after graduation, where I'm reading a lot more than I did before I came, and I can engage in interesting conversations with people at work. that I might not have known how to navigate beforehand. The parts that have stuck with me the most about the Sattler discipleship program has been the importance of bringing people close into your life and having people around that know where you're at, that can encourage you and pray for you in like a really meaningful way. And meeting with the Journey group weekly, telling them about my week, hearing about their weeks, it taught me to listen better and to not be afraid of bringing people into really like deep things that I'm either feeling or thinking about. And I think that like comfortability with transparency and vulnerability is what kind of continues to mark my relationships with other Christians now. If I could talk to like high school Carrie to encourage her to come to Satler, I would let her know that there's so many opportunities out in the world, and Satler has just been like a little gateway into that. And I think if I would have realized the scope of what's actually like attainable to like learn, or like fields of work that I could be involved in, I think it would have made the decision to come to Sattler a lot sooner. Because when you're in high school, you kind of think like, oh, I can work, or I can go to college, or I can get married, or I can whatever. And you don't really think like, okay, what's like 3 steps past that? And this like on this other side of graduating college, really appreciated kind of just the doors that have all been opened, and I'm still kind of just in awe of like what's available to me now afterwards. And I think if I kind of understood the scope of what that is, I would have, applied a lot sooner, maybe like a year sooner. Maybe I wouldn't have studied physics. I wouldn't have wasted my time.